So as I was saying, when I was a director of finance, I was responsible for selecting the softwares that we used, working through how they interact, the different functions within each one of those. And quite often it would come up as far as how are they going to interact? How am I going to solve that problem? And there was never an easy solution, at least when I was in that role, that I could think of. And at the time, I wasn't familiar with a lot of the terms you're going to hear today. API, SFTP, even iPaaS. I didn't know any SQL or coding or anything like that. So to me, that fear of the unknown when it came to integrations was front of mind. I didn't have a good solution because I don't think I understood truly the problem. I was safe, I was comfortable in debits and credits, financial reports, operational accounting, board reports, all of those, income statements, balance sheets. That's my wheelhouse. That's where I'm comfortable. But integrations, I wasn't. And we think that in our exposure as DataBlend as a company is that with a lot of finance departments, that tends to be the case, that integration is second nature, or is not quite as much of a priority or known commodity as the financial side of things. The second thing is that it's expensive. And it can be still today. There are different approaches to integration that can result in a very high price tag and be expensive, but they don't have to be. And hopefully by the end of the webinar, you'll have a good picture of that and some of the solutions that are out there. And then the third one is that it takes a lot of time to get an integration set up. And now, historically, if you think of integrations as picking up the phone or finding someone that has a IT background or maybe a third party that can come in, create that custom integration, it could take a lot of time. It could take a lot of time to create that point A to point B connection, because you would essentially need a developer who's going to figure out, here's what I need to happen to the data that's coming from system A and going to system B, and what needs to happen in between. And then you're most likely going to lose a lot of time in those conversations when you have someone that might be a CFO or a controller that understands the finance side, and then they need to have a conversation with a developer who they understand the API, the scripting, the coding that needs to happen. So you have two very different personas that have to have that conversation, and it creates some inefficiencies. Also, stuff gets lost in translation, which can just compound the amount of time around those integrations.